All right, everybody, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to DC Fine Art. Sorry I started out a little bit late today. Just trying to get everything together and was having some technical issues, but it'll be perfectly fine. I got those all straightened out. Looks like volume looks like it's doing good. I'll give it just a second with the delay just to make sure, everything is fine. But I can go ahead and start off by saying, this week we are doing what I said was the watercolor, and it's like a mixed watercolor. And the reason why I say mixed is I didn't really know what other word to word it because it's not really mixed media. It's just different types of watercolor. So we have like these watercolor tubes that you would use, like the Daniel Smith's got watercolor tubes, paint, but then we can also throw in maybe using some of the Museum Aquarelle watercolor pencils. I really like these because they are very, very pigmented. They're very opaque. They're super, super bright. These are really, really nice pencils, by the way. But so that's why I wanted to say kind of like a mixed, add it where we need it. And just make these little mushrooms. I thought they were really cute. I do have them on the actual video so you can see the actual reference photo that I got from Pixabay. If you need it and want to go ahead and follow along, then I do have that listed in the description below for you guys. So if you're just like, oh my gosh, I want to try this at home, go for it. I definitely have it for you guys. So just check out in the description below and you'll find the link that goes over to Pixabay, and you guys can get that photo and have it to practice with. Boy, my words have been jumbled today. So looks like everything's going good. Let me go ahead and turn this around. So here, let me get the cameras. I know my camera has been like messed up, but it'll be okay. I don't know. Let's see here, it'll be fine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. Let's go to live work. All right, make sure my voice is doing good. Instead of working on a canvas paper, I decided to go ahead and, or not a canvas paper. Oh my gosh, I am just full of it today. Instead of working on like a watercolor paper, I decided to go ahead and work on a watercolor canvas board. This here is by Fredericks. It's a 9 by 12 inch. And the reason why I picked this is because, to be honest with you, I did work on a Patreon for you guys, so that's released, but I worked on a canvas paper just for like practice, just something I could just kind of do without having to do a whole entire painting for like maybe a beginner's. And so we worked on a caterpillar. And when I worked on this canvas paper using it for, oh, we got a little blurry, didn't we? Okay, so when I used the canvas paper, I used it before, but I used it for like oil paint. And so I decided to try it with the acrylic paint, and whenever you spray it, it tends to bubble. So I've had enough of bubbling. So if that's the reason why I decided I'm going to go with a canvas board, a watercolor canvas board, because I really don't feel like dealing with the bubbling of the paper. Even if I use one of those pads, because I got the Arches Hot Press watercolor paper pad that's actually sealed around, that really does pretty good without it bubbling so much. But to be honest with you, I really just didn't feel like even going to that. I just didn't. So I went ahead and picked the watercolor canvas board. Now, it says on here that you can pre-wet these boards. And it says here, it's a tip by an artist. Let's see here, Tom Lynch, I guess his name is. 10 minutes before you paint, wipe down firmly with the entire surface of the canvas with a very white or wet cloth. I cannot read today, neither, you guys. So sorry about this. This will allow for more spontaneous transfer of paint to the canvas. So if you're wanting to work like, have more of a like, where you put your paint down and it just kind of blossoms out and it just kind of has that effect, that really cool effect. It's really nice for watercolor. Then you can just wet it down first. 10 minutes before is what this artist says, and then go ahead and start painting. And is supposed to have that effect because it's already pre-wetted, basically. So we are not really wanting too much. At least I ain't. I wasn't really looking forward to something that's too spontaneous. I know I could make these mushrooms look really, really watercolory and just kind of light, but I don't know. I really like working with detail, so we'll see how it goes. And you guys are going to join me for the fun. So let me see here. What do I have in the Daniel Smith colors? I know I got more of these tubes somewhere. Let's see here. This one here is a nickel yellow. I don't know if I really need a yellow. Let's choose our colors. That's always the fun part. Choosing what colors. Use some more. I knew I had some more Daniel Smith. I like the Daniel Smith ones. Let's see if I have any of the browns and stuff. Let's see here. What is this? It's not going to be any of my browns. It's more greens, purples. Definitely don't want a green mushroom. A red gold. I keep on looking up I'm looking up at the computer, and that's just because I keep on thinking that my actual, we might end up using that. So we'll take that. We'll take that and, well, I would say trade it in. The other paints that I like, and I don't know, this nickel yellow, I don't think we have really that much yellowish color. I don't really want to go yellow. I mean, that's already pushing it with that red gold. I really want to stick to some browns and rusty colors. So the other thing I picked up was the other watercolors that I really do like. And I have only used these, I think maybe once or twice, not for sure. But it's the Core watercolors. And I got these in the Powerful packs. And it is 6 earth colors that they have in it. And they get some really nice browns in here, along with some of these golden colors, but I just really like the browns. I think, what's it called? Is it just like a raw umber? And that's what I'm going for. I need the raw umber. They got transparent brown oxide, which is pretty nice too. Transparent brown oxide. I bet that's like right here. Or is it red oxide? Brown oxide. Transparent brown oxide. So I really like to get those two. I'd like to get those two, and maybe possibly, what is that other one? It says Venetian red. I don't know if that looks red. Maybe it is a little bit too red. I don't really want reds in there. Well, let's go ahead and pull these out real quick. I'm getting everything all dirty. All right. Oops, sorry about the noise. Transparent brown oxide. And these cores are really nice. I really did enjoy working with these. And you know, the makers, I was really kind of surprised. The makers on this is by Golden Artist Colors, but so they're made by Goldens, which is really a nice brand. I like their stuff. I get the Golden High Flow paint for my airbrush. Let's see here. And there's a raw umber. Here's that Venetian red. I don't know. Where's my light? Ooh, I made a shadow. You know what? Okay, that might work out a little bit better, maybe. I don't know what it wants to focus on. Let me move this out of the way. Maybe. Who knows? It's kind of weird. The Venetian red does have a reddish tone to it, but it does have kind of a brownish tone. I don't know. We're going to keep it around. I might be able to work with it. You never know. You never know. All right. And then they got some gray tones in there. Now, or at least some gray. You can use more of a blue or a light blue. We could end up, I'm thinking about going with gray, but we may end up switching over and using some of our watercolor pencils. At least some of the museum aquarelles. And that's where I can get all these unique colors just from these pencils. And I got all kinds of browns. And I got some gray tones too. So we'll just see how it goes. We'll just play around with this and have some fun. I really know that whenever you're working with watercolor, you know, you don't really have to get too detailed about it. Just have fun. You can paint loose if you want to. That's what makes it kind of nice too. And I know me, it's like I go in thinking, okay, I'm going to just work loose, and then I try and control myself because I start wanting to go into detail. I am big on detail, and I have to control myself and not try and do it. So what I want to go ahead and do first is I'm going to go ahead and spritz my canvas here. That way it's nice and wet. I think I missed a spot. Maybe I did. We'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and get my colors on my palette so that way I can kind of see how they look. I'm going to move this to the side just a little bit. I know they're in the way. I wonder if I can make these a little bit smaller for you guys. You guys need the reference photo. It will be in the description below. You could probably pull it up on a secondary screen or maybe your phone or something if you're wanting to really look at it. It's hard to see anyway whenever it's on like a smaller screen. Oh great, took the lid off and now I can't get the lid back on. Come on. My daughter is babysitting our puppy, little Whiskey. Hope they're having fun out there. I haven't really heard them too much. When they come in, usually Whiskey will come pushing that door open. So you may hear a noise and that'll just be my puppy pushing the door open, coming in to say, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing in here, Mom? You never leave the door closed. Only a couple times. Because he's got to watch me at all times. Okay, and that was, what color was that? Transparent brown oxide. You know what? I really should have put, I'm going to put these colors like that. Raw umber. Yeah. And then the last one, the Daniel Smith one, is Aussie Red Gold. We'll just see. Get the lid off. I don't usually put a whole bunch in my palette because these can really go a long way. And then I'm going to go ahead and give those a nice big mist. So a couple times, so that way those are nice and wet. And so we'll come in here. Let me get me a brush out. We're going to work on, basically all I want to work on right now is just like the dark mushrooms. So we have two darker mushrooms. One on the right hand side is darker than this one. I really would like to have, you know what, I don't see no white. Did I ever have a white in that? I'd like to tone things down, but I know they usually say just, I don't need to. It'll be okay. With watercolors, they usually say use the paper in order to use for white, or use less of whatever color it is, really thinned out to make it not as bright. So we'll go for it. We'll just see how it goes. So this is a really thinned out burnt umber. It's got a lot of more water in it, so it's very light. So let's just see how it goes. We're going to put it in here, especially in that light area right in here. It's kind of like the highlight. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take some more. I really would like to take a little bit of that Aussie, is it Aussie Red Gold? Aussie Red Gold. It kind of mix it in there. It gives me a little bit more of a tan. Ooh. Now you can just see just how dark that is. And we'll just kind of move these colors around is all we're going to be doing. It's really, really wet. Just remember, it's okay. We really want to get a good base on this, like at least tone it to where we got a good base color. Don't worry about it if it's not perfect. We just want it to be kind of filled in. Let me kind of get this area here is a little bit darker. Okay. There is some kind of dark areas in here. And you can kind of push and kind of pull these colors in and around. Move them where you want them. I'm going to put a little bit more dark area in here. So I'm going to grab some more. We're just going to drip drop it in. And then just kind of move these colors around. Looks pretty good. Let's go a little bit darker. I'm gonna kind of spread by dip in or dip like kind of making like little dots. Dropping in some of that color in there. That looks pretty good. I'm going to take some of this darker color and kind of pull it down a little bit more right in here. Add a little bit more of that warmth. I'm going to spray it a little bit too. Now, if you ever put too much water down and you're wanting to kind of take some of it away, all you have to do is just take a paper towel. And if you want to absorb anything or kind of pick up some of these colors, and you can, or if it's kind of going a little overboard here, you can always just kind of pick up some of that color. Or if you like that look and you like that effect, then you can just leave it. Oops. Kind of took a little bit away from that, but I had some extra water. We can go back in there. You know, I put my water at the wrong end. And I'm wanting to clean off my brush and my water's not there. Okay, so now that we have that done, Let's see what we can do with, I need a light color. I know a lot of this I was saying I could do with the watercolor pencils because I don't really have, I don't even think I even have a really light, I don't really want to go with a blue, but maybe even a gray. I think it's either that or I could pick up my Winsor and Newton watercolors that I got. I think there might be a gray in it. I'm not for sure. Let me see. Let's see if I don't have any of the blocks, like the, or the, what are they called? Let's see here. I think that's going to give me the colors that I need, but let's see what I got in here. Just some numbers. I do have some watercolor markers that are pretty cool. Oh, see if I can, you can get this open. Press here. Okay. Oh, they even got a white in here. That's the Winsor and Newton Cotman colors. I don't really know if I want to use the white because thinking about possibly using my museum aquarelles for that. I don't really see anything that's just like coming out at me as something uniquely different. And these are my scenarios. We could try these. These are a lot of fun too. So if you guys haven't tried these are the Faber-Castell Albert Doro, if I can even say it, watercolor markers. And I got the 30 set. I don't know for sure if I have a gray in here. Oh, I do have grays. These are a lot of fun to work with. Let's try them out. Told you we're doing mixed watercolor. And I absolutely love just kind of having fun and experimenting with things. It's just what I like to do. Okay. So let's take, I'm kind of scared of this. What color is this? Okay, so we got 2 nibs on this. We got 1 bullet nib, and I think the other one's more of a brush nib, maybe? Yeah. Wonder if this is going to be too dark, though. Let's just try it out. I mean, it's still got that gray tone, but it looks really dark. Yeah. It looks pretty good. Now, you just take your brush, dip it in some water, and you can move this around. You can even thin it out. And that makes more of a thinner kind of color there. Now, if you're wanting it to be a little bit darker, here's a darker gray. Please, by the way it looks. You know, I should actually look at the colors. And I don't. So who knows what we're going to make here. Okay, let's add a little water. Just making kind of like a little bit more of a shadow to it. I kind of like the other color. I don't know. This one's more of got a blue tone in it. What is it? I should have read it. Cold gray. That's why. You don't want to use cold gray. Warm grays only. Good job, Deborah. I am just so good at doing that. Let's see if I can cover it up. Now these markers can dry out. I had that happen only whenever I bought them. There was like, and it was like from a store that actually was an art store that actually closed down. I was actually really sad that they closed down. But they had a couple of the markers when I bought them that were dried out in it. And they had closed down and I couldn't take them back. So it was kind of a little bit of a bummer. But it was just sad that they closed. So I don't know. Okay. I'm going to go through here and just kind of skim off that top just a little bit. Okay. Like that. Now let's see here. I'd really like to have a white. And I really need this to dry in order to do the white I was wanting. I need to clean this off here. Ooh. It's really nice and wet. All right. So I might as well go ahead and do this. This is already starting to run in with each other. And for the most part, this here is going to be more of a, I would say white, but we are going to use a gray. Did I just use my blue gray? Did I just use cold gray? I did use cold gray. Oh my goodness. Good job. I'm about ready to banish. Like I need to just like take that marker and just put it away. Put it somewhere else because it doesn't need to be right next to me. Yeah, I know there's a lot of blues in this, but I'm using my gray tones. I'm gonna have to be very careful with this because now we got a lot of, since I got it wet, now it's like really wanting to come out a whole lot more than what it was. We'll just see what happens. Go for it. I really want to wet this because I really want this thinned out. I may have put way too much marker down. But I'm actually not too concerned with it because, like I said, you can lift it. At least you should be able to lift it. If you can't lift it off, then I don't think you're using watercolors. Maybe ink. It wouldn't be a watercolor thing. Okay. Okay. So let's see where we can do some lifting so that way it's a little bit lighter. I probably want to make sure there's enough water in here so that way I can lift up in some of these areas where I want it to be a little bit lighter. Okay. Ooh, I like that. See how much prettier that looks. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And it's got a really pretty look. Wonder how wet this is. Let's see if we still can't lift any of this off. Just a little bit. Still like it. Looks really pretty. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on some of these parts in the center. It looks like it needs to have more of a brown. This up here needs to be a little bit darker, but I'm thinking that we will still use the marker. And see, I like the way the marker does. The marker really does a good job. There's just a little bit of like some stuff in there. There's a hair. Don't really care for that much. It's like a brush hair or something. And get that out of there. That's fine. All right, so I'm going to take some of this brown that we already have in here. I missed it down just a little bit. And we're going to put it in, let's see here, nice and thick. We're going to put it in like right in here because I want this to be a little bit brighter. That to be a little thinned out. There we go. This here is going to go in. Make this little area here a little bit brighter. Oops. Kind of went into that gray. I didn't really want to do that. That'll be fine. Okay. So let me take a little bit of my towel and just kind of pick up some of this water in here. There we go. I think that'll be fine. And then I want to come into the other area where it's a whole lot darker and take a whole lot of our brown. You know what? I'm going to throw in some of this other color in here. What was it? That was the transparent brown oxide. We're going to stick a little bit of that in there. Looks a little bit too brown though. A little bit too dark. Need a whole lot more water. We don't want it too opaque there. I also don't want too much on my brush. Ew. We need to wait until that dries just a little bit. Or let's try a smaller brush because I'm impatient. That's just how I work. I can't wait. And it'll be like something that you need to wait. some things you just have to wait until it dries to add another layer to. So that way you're not messing up your other colors by it bleeding into it. Unless, in fact, you want it to. Okay, we'll just leave that. That is really light. That was not supposed to be a hole. I don't know why I created a hole there. I just now noticed that. Now my marker wants to like not work as good. Let's put this on. Is that even the marker I was using before? Why does that say cold gray? Okay, I got two cold grays around me. Messing me up here. No wonder the marker didn't want to work. It's like, no, you're not supposed to put me there. Okay, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to add a little bit more of a darker area, if it will let me. So I made it just a little lot darker, which means I'm actually going to grab some of this darker brown too. And I'm going to add it in. I'm not adding a whole lot of water to this, because I really don't want it to spread everywhere. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now this area here, I still want to add another. Let's take my bigger brush. Add another little bit more layer darkness to it, especially in this area. I'm going to take my towel and see if I can pull a little bit off of that. All right, I like that better. So now as we keep going and letting these dry, then I can go ahead and work on my next mushroom and make it a whole lot darker. And while that's doing, or while I'm doing this, this one over here will be drying. And I'm really hoping that by the time this is dry, we can come back in and we can add maybe another layer to this, maybe, or I mean, if you like it the way it is, you could always just keep it the way it is and just leave it. For me, I like to add my layers to it. So I don't know if me personally, I couldn't just leave it. See if I can't move some of this color a little bit over. add like a lighter. Is this supposed to be brown? No. But this is. Let's see here. I don't know. You want to make it darker? I think there is a darker. I mean, I can go on top of it with the Museum Aquarelle pencils and kind of add any dark detail if I want to it. So I may end up doing that. Forget that I got those pencils that I can add my details to, because we're just trying to get an underpainting and at least get that done. Okay. Let's go to our next mushroom. I'm going to go ahead and move this. I can move it. Maybe we'll move it to this side. There we go. All right. Now let's work on this one. This one here is going to be a whole lot darker, but we're still going to be using the same colors that we did. Turn this around. This is confusing me. There we go. So we're going to use a lot more of the burnt umber or raw umber, sorry. I want to make sure that this is misted over so that way I can come in here and add in, we actually should add in our lighter tone. So just take it and mix in whatever you have on your brush with a whole lot more water to kind of give it a lighter tone. And if there's any areas that you see that need to be more lighter, just add that in now. Okay, maybe a little bit in here. It's not really much. There is a little bit of that, glow from the, I think it's Aussie Red Gold. I'm going to stick it like, I don't know, that should be more of a highlight, but we'll stick it like right in here. And stick some of that glow also in and around the top part of this mushroom here. Okay. And then a little bit in here. Okay, now we're going to go in with some darker, like shadows. Let me move my water thing for you guys. I can't really, well, actually it's for me. I couldn't see. We're just adding in raw umber, just a whole lot more of it. So that way it's really pigmented. kind of making it a whole lot darker on this side. Okay. Actually, I could add just a little bit more here at the bottom. Now I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of this watercolor so that way we got that highlight still in there, and this is what makes it even more of a highlight. It's just by dabbing, dabbing, kind of adding maybe some little speckles in there will be fine. Doesn't have to all be perfect, but just enough to where we've got that little highlight. You're gonna want to take and kind of go around here, and it's got a little bit in here. Here we go. I like that. So now we got a nice little highlight going on with our little mushroom on this side. So now we're going to go ahead and take our marker. Hopefully, let's check it again. Warm gray. Okay, that's what I'm wanting. Oop, almost made a mess of myself there. Ooh, that was close. Okay, so we're going to take this marker here and I'm going to kind of outline. This is going to be the darker area. Okay. On this top, it's actually darker. Okay, so now we're going to take our brush, we're going to wet our brush, we're going to go ahead and thin this out. I still want to keep the lines in with this, at least some of them. Let's go ahead and now if you don't pre-wet your canvas, as you can see, it likes to sink in. So we may end up having to pre-wet first, because a lot of my spray kind of dried up a little bit. Now, if it all looks the same color like that and you still see some lines, that's fine. We're still good. And I'll show you why. As we got a whole lot of water on there, we need to, can you take a guess? Yep, we need to soak it up. So just on the areas that you want the brightest. I don't really want that to be too I don't want that bold of a line. So that's why you see me scrubbing a little bit, is just so that way I can kind of lighten up that line a whole lot more. This one down here, I don't really mind if it is. It just needs to be filled in a little bit more. Okay. Okay. The top has to go a lot darker. And I just didn't like the lines. Okay. So we'll end up taking some of our dark brown here, our umber. We're going to kind of put this in here. I'm going to throw it in on top. Just a little bit here. And just a little bit down here in this dark shadow area. I do like that. Now there's supposed to be a really dark area on the top of this mushroom, but I am not going to put that in with the watercolors. I'm actually, or the liquids. I'm actually going to do that more of a detail with the Museum Aquarelle colors. I'll make this just a tad bit darker. Looks like it's getting a little bit dry. Okay. So I like the way that looks. Just to be a little bit more of a rounded shape. All right. So that looks a whole lot more looser. And that looks a whole lot darker. So now we got our 3 little mushrooms here. You want to wipe those up just a little bit right around the edge. I mean, you could let it go It doesn't look too bad when it does let go, just to be honest. It kind of makes it a little bit more looser. But I really, really like these mushrooms on the way they look already. They look really, really super cool. So now, I don't know if this is actually, yeah, that's dry. We can probably go on top of this with our pencils and just see what we can do on creating a little bit of detail. Because I love detail. And you could just leave your mushrooms just like this, like I said, but if you're like me and you love detail, then we kind of go into it a little bit more. Because there's always more you can do. Ow, my elbow. Okay, I'm going to clear off my desk real quick. I don't think I really need any more of these colors here. We got a nice, good background going on for these. So I'm going to take my watercolor markers away. They were a lot of fun to play with. And as you can see, they really do a good job. As long as you wet your canvas first or your paper first, whichever you use. Wet it first, then go on top of it with your markers. If it's really, really wet, sometimes your markers may not work. You might just need to have a damp surface to work with your watercolor markers. I'm going to go ahead and kind of pick up some of these things. Otherwise, I may get confused here. So, oh, and to let everybody know who was wondering about the Pitt Artist pens or doing like a beginner's kind of thing, I picked out a picture that I would like to do with the Pitt Artist pens, and it's like a seashell. So, I figured we might do a seashell with the Pitt Artist ink pens. And if we do that, then we may have a video come out and hopefully that'll help. And I know the seashell looks really good. I mean, I could do it and it may look like I put too much detail, or it might look hard, but I'm going to try and make it as simple as I possibly can as far as blending the colors and everything else. Really going to try my best on that. I'm going to try not to go to where, you know, to where I'm going into too much and, you know, and no one gets it. So, I don't know how to word myself. Today's been horrible for that. Okay, let's see what we got here. We are going to take out, we're going to take out our browns, of course. Any browns I see, I'm going to take them out. I don't know about tan. Yeah, let's take out tans. That's a cute one. Maybe that one. And here's a dark brown. I think that's about it. What is this one? Is this black? Ivory black. Not like a Mars black, but it's okay. We'll take it out. Might as well try it out. And here's another one. What is this? Carmen Lake. That's more of a reddish color. I don't really want that. I don't want that. I like my browns and my grays. And here's my grays. I don't know what type of grays these are, though. Let's see what they are. French gray. Payne's gray. We don't want Payne's. Slate gray. That doesn't sound good. And sepia. Maybe French gray. French gray is like the only one I got. Payne's gray's got more blue. Slate gray's got more of a bluish tone. And sepia has more of a, I want to say purpley kind of tone. I don't know. It depends on the sepia. I love sepia, don't get me wrong. That's like one of my favorite colors. Here's sepia 50%. But see, it's got like that. I don't think I want that. Okay. You can see it better in the light. We got dark flesh. Maybe. Castle Earth. Absolutely yes. Brown ochre. Absolutely yes. Alright. I thought I had like did I had Castle Earth. I don't have any other browns. Let me see here. Sometimes I use them and I don't think they would be in here though. I think these are for my strawberries that I never finished a long time ago, and I just keep them in here because I'm thinking that I need to go back and finish them. Brown. Oh, look at that. That's simple. Just brown. Okay, we need that. Dark. Dark plum. No. Nope. We're not going there. We got chestnuts. Roasting on an open fire. Yep. We'll take this. Maybe chestnut will be fine. All right. So let's go ahead and work on this mushroom here. I want to take just my regular, well, I like to take the Castle Earth. Castle Earth is a little bit darker. And so I just want to maybe do some small little details in here. Especially if it's a little bit supposed to be a little bit darker. Okay, let's see what the Castle Earth looks like. We're just going to take my small little detail brush because I don't want to add too much water to it. Just want to see. Actually, we'll go ahead and get the big one. Doesn't seem like it blends too much. But I'm hoping it's just enough to add a little bit more of a darker tone in there. You don't have to add water to it if you're wanting just to keep the detail itself. But I really wanted to add yeah, I kind of liked it. Adds that little bit of a darker color to it. Let's see if I can't add. Do I even have? Yeah, I do. Ooh. Let's try this. And I got a light blue. Or is that gray? Steel gray. I don't want steel gray. Could do a light blue or a gray. I don't know. Let's just do white. I mean, honestly, you can't even see it. I mean, it is if you put it on top of another color. Like if you want to add a little spot here, and you wanted to turn this into a highlight, or make it a little bit lighter in this area. It's almost like I got a brush that I need to go. Got one brush that's like, okay, this is too small, and one brush is too big. And I feel like the bears that can't figure out which bed is better. It's like, this one's too hard. This one's too big. Okay, we're gonna leave that. Maybe. Ugh. I just like to end up using my brush with water on it. I mean, you can just leave it, but for me, it just doesn't look too great to me. Like, I feel like it needs to be blended. Ooh, this is nice and dark. See what happens. Oh. I almost thought this was a gray. It's actually a brown. Don't really want that color in there. Okay. I don't want brown. There was one color I thought I had. French gray. Why does it look brown? I mean, it's supposed to have more of a brownish tone, and I get that. Okay, but it's not supposed to have that much of a brownish tone. I mean, the gray that I already have down is a French gray in marker form. And it's got a slight more warmer tone to it, but it's not coming out brown. So, I'm not sure I like that much. Warm gray. And warm gray still got a brownish tone. It's just what is that? I thought it was like paint splatter or something. Make that nice and wet in the center. Kind of pick that up a little bit. Okay, where's my Castle Earth? This is raw umber. Let's try raw umber. I'm going to come over to this one and work on this one just a little bit more while that one dries. Let's go ahead and stick some raw umber in here. Actually, could throw some darker shade in here. Let's just go black. Okay. Let me take this white And I'm just going on top of this on around the outside edge just to make it that much lighter. And we'll just see how it goes. I'm really thinking about just leaving the darker area where I put in the pencil, just leave that area. I don't think I want to touch that. So some areas I feel like I need to touch up and actually use my, like use water on it. And then some other areas I'm like, no, I really don't want to touch it. Like I want to just leave it. I just want to put some color in that. Let's put a lighter color, maybe. Ooh, I like that. There we go. I think this is dry. Okay. Let's use kind of like this fleshy tone. Here's the darker tone. Just take it on up. It looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit of detail in there. Okay. I think that looks good. We'll just see. This area here needs, and just, we'll probably need to re-wet this one here just a little bit more because I don't like the way that looks. How about this one doesn't turn out that way? My God. Some of those areas I'm probably not going to blend out. See if I can't get in here and just kind of dab some of this color up. It's pretty good. And let me get around the corner here. Just gonna pick up some of that. Just right in there. Right in there. There we go. And I'm going to make this just a tad bit lighter by kind of picking that up. Just a little bit. Here we go. That's much better. Now, I really wanted to make this a whole lot darker, that area. I don't want raw umber. Yeah, raw umber's fine. Just really thinned out on that area. Actually, let's just gonna do it this way. So things need to be adjusted. If you don't like the way the watermarks are kind of dried out on it, then you can always go back over it like I'm doing. Just didn't like the way that looked. I wanted to bring some of that color in there. It lightened up in an area that I didn't like. Here we go. I'm gonna kind of maybe just put some marks in there. Totally up to you guys. But I am really, really like that. I'm really thinking that I need to take like a darker color. Oh, look at that train. Sorry about that, you guys. Really kind of annoying. I'm going to kind of do a little bit of a detail work here. Just little hints. I think that's good. I don't really want to wet it too much in that area. I don't really want it to branch out any more than it already is. It's perfect. And I really like these mushrooms. I don't know. What do you guys think? You liking these mushrooms? Because I think they're pretty cool. Now, in the reference photo, well, actually, I forgot. Do I need to add in? No, not really. I don't think I really do. This is more of a brown. I didn't really want a brown, so yeah. But in the reference photo, it does have like a reflection of these mushrooms kind of like coming out from them. But I don't know if I want to do it. I don't really know. I kind of wanted just these mushrooms because I think they're pretty cool and you can actually set it up in a kitchen. I think that would be pretty cool. You know, like kind of playing around with it just a little bit, but sometimes you just need to keep it the way it is. I just don't know if I want to add any shadows to them or if I want them to kind of bleed out any. Because I'm actually really, really liking this without having anything but the mushrooms. So what time is it? We are already at 8:22. What else can we do with this? Because I really like the way it is. I don't know. The watercolor really did go pretty quick. Quicker than what I thought it would go. So, let's see here. Oh, where's my black? I'm going to take that black and I'm going to add a little bit to the touch of the center of this because I really needed to and totally forgot. That I really wanted that, a dark black. Sometimes having that dark black added really helps out. But you don't want to add too much to it. Because I really do. I like it. Those are so cool. So I like my three little mushrooms. Especially like three little mushrooms, one cut in half. I mean, I don't know. I absolutely enjoy this. So I don't know if this is something that you guys might want to try out, and you could have this for your kitchen, which will be really, really cute in a kitchen. Especially if you put up a lot of like different stuff. Like I have a strawberry in my kitchen. I got like a neon sign that I art with the acrylic paint that I did. I did like eggs, acrylic painting, and then oh, I did like a dairy, like kind of like a farm. I've done like the little cow, chicken, and pig with a little basket of apples. So I did that for my kitchen. Did another pig. I did anything food or country theme because mine's more of a country theme. So anything food or country, like farm animal, then I'm putting it in my kitchen, especially if it's like cow, chicken, or pig. Any of those things will go in my kitchen, or food related, such as like these really cute mushrooms that, yeah, it's probably going to be going in my kitchen. I absolutely love them. So anyways, I know that we are super, super early on getting everything done. It seems to me like a lot of people are going to be probably watching this on the live or on the replay, not on the live. So, if any of you guys caught me in the live, I would have answered any of your questions. But if you catch me on the replay, still leave a comment. Please, please leave a comment because I will definitely answer your comments or definitely give you like a little heart or a like. But any likes, shares, comments on these videos definitely helps this channel grow. So if you guys could do any of those things, keep up the good work. I know that there are a few of you guys who have been sharing and have been commenting. Oh my gosh, you guys mean the world to me. Hearts, hearts, hearts. Seriously, it has definitely been helping. So we just got to keep this going. But I hope you guys enjoyed this mixed watercolor piece here that we did. And the next video we'll be doing is going to be a Pit Artist pen, doing a seashell. And it won't be on, I don't know if I'll do it on live stream or not. I think we may end up doing that on live stream. You know what? That's probably a good idea. How about our next video that we'll do will be of a seashell using the Pit Artist pens. All right. So there we go. We'll just do it that way. So I guess until next time, bye you guys.